Okay, well, welcome to Storytime with Sarah. This is not the episode that I expected to be dropping, you guys. Full disclosure, I was in the emergency room last night. I had an emergency surgery, very minor surgery, but a procedure nonetheless done this morning. And it's launch day, and I sat here and I had two choices today. And I was like, okay, I can either delay this launch or, find some other reason not to do it or etc. Or we're just going to fucking do it. And you know what? That is exactly what the energy of this podcast is. It is raw. It's supposed to be behind the scenes. It's supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be real. It's supposed to be unpredictable. And I couldn't think of a better way to kick this thing off than to kind of just record this episode and have this be episode one. I had other things planned that I was going to upload, and I was like, you know what? You know what? No, no, we're going to do this. So here we are, launching a podcast, Storytime with Sarah. And I was in the emergency room last night and had surgery this morning. So let's freaking go. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, where I'm at, what this podcast is going to be, some of the upcoming episodes, and just give you the real, okay? Because that's what you're here for. That's what I've been craving. The whole reason that I created this podcast to begin with was because I don't want it to be like a super polished cookie cutter podcast. There's so many of those. So if you didn't read it yet, if you go to storytimewithsarah.com and you read the vibe of the podcast, like that's it. Like that's the essence for this. I love the random podcasts where people, it's not a professional podcast and there's only a couple of them and they're like riding a subway train in downtown New York and you can hear background noise and it's just, I'm one of those people where when I walk through a neighborhood at night, this is going to sound really creepy, but when I walk through a neighborhood at night, I love to like, please tell me I'm not alone in this, by the way. If you're listening to this episode, head on over to the listeners lounge and let me know, or leave me a comment on the podcast and tell me like, hey, I do this too. Or no, you're 100% a creep. Like, I feel like I can't be the only creep, but when I go for walks through neighborhoods and stuff and it's like nighttime, like I'm that person that I love to look in the windows. Like, tell me, what are you doing? I want to peek into their life. Like, oh, look, it's Ed and Brenda. And oh, okay, what are they having for dinner? What are they watching? What does their home decor look like? What's their family like? You know what I mean? When I get into somebody's car for the first time, not gonna lie, I like I want to peek in your glove box. If I go to your house, I want to see what's in your medicine cabinet. I'm that weirdo. I'm just too curious. And so there's so many polished perfect podcasts out there that drop an episode at 7 a.m. and it's like 10 steps to a better life or like improve this. Like, no, fuck that. Like there's so much of that out there. I just want real. I want something relatable, something fun, something that's going to make me smile. And I hope that this is it for you. Like this is just going to be a collection of stories and random things. And sometimes there's not going to be a rhyme or a reason for it. Like these literally are going to be like the voice notes I actually send to my BFFs right now. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm just going to be recording them and sending them out to the world. I can't tell you how many times it's been like the middle of the night and I'll be like, oh my gosh, hey, did you know about this chick? Like in 1971 and she was 17 years old and she was flying over the rainforest and her plane got struck by lightning and crashed and she fell to earth 2 miles strapped into her plane seat. She was the only one that survived. The jungle canopy broke her fall and she managed to survive 11 days in the jungle. Oh my God. And then I do an ADD, like deep dive rabbit hole search into this. And then I send that voice note. So sometimes it's going to be that. Sometimes it's going to be just the real behind the scenes in what's actually going on in my life because for about the last year and a half, I have been in a cocoon and it was necessary. I needed to. In case you didn't know, my life like completely blew up, burned to the ground, whatever you want to call it, set the stage for a rebirth moment. That was about August of 2023. And prior to that, I had been living online a lot, sharing a lot. And after that happened, I just went into like a cocoon phase. And there's a lot that I want to talk about and share from that because I feel like part of my purpose on this earth is to just share stuff, whether it's relatable or whatever, what's going on in my life, and to help other people and kind of not hide that light necessarily. And so that's what this is, the real real. I have plenty of stories, by the way, from my own life. Like if it's weird, if it's wild, if it's like probably rare, it's probably going to happen to me. So it's like I like to call that luck. I like to think that it's not bad luck. All luck is luck, regardless of it's, perceived as bad or good. So anyways, I have a lot of luck in my life, and I have like some really weird shit that happens. And like for example, a couple months ago, ice, yes, literally showed up at my house, probably was 5 minutes away from detaining or I don't know, taking my friend away. So I want to tell you guys about that. I want to tell you guys about the behind the scenes tea, what actually happened in my life when everything blew up. My husband left. I found myself in a spicy situationship, shall we say that? And then accidentally found myself from that entire mess of a situation and that experience, accidentally writing a book, a spicy, not like what? Okay, spicy smut novel based on may or may not be based on experiences from my own life was not on my bingo card, but here we are. So these are the kind of things that I want to share with you guys. But just so you know, I'm a classy lady, okay? I'm all about spilling some tea and telling my side of things, but I am not for airing other people's dirty laundry. And so I just in case certain peoples are listening, do not worry, your secrets are safe with me. Okay, I'm not going to be spilling any names. It'll be blocked out or changed, etc., etc. Okay. Anywho's. So there's that. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna be real with you. Let me just give you the picture of where I'm at right now. I am sitting, and if you're not in the listeners lounge yet, it's a Facebook group for now. It's kind of fun, but it's also on Patreon. So if you haven't yet done that, you can head on over to Storytime with Sara. And if you click on, I think it's like join, that should take you to the Patreon page. There's a free version. It's called the Listeners Lounge. And when you subscribe to that, you'll get these like posts behind the scenes. So for example, I'm about to go post in there a picture of my setup right now so you guys can see what I'm working with. Cause how fun is that, right? I don't know. I love behind the scenes stuff. So I'm going to give it to you guys in there. Okay. So there's that. So head on over there. You can check that out. But yeah, I'm sitting here with my 7 to 10-year-old glasses on. I've got my Vera Wang comfy little star PJs that my grandma and my mom bought me for Christmas. Like, it's so cute. They're so cozy. I've got, oh my gosh, you know what was weird? I've got this massager thing from TikTok. It was a neck massager, a heated one, but I've been using it on my lower legs. So there's that. I'm sitting here in my pajamas. I've got my diffuser going, the Roman chamomile, the steam inhalation therapy. They couldn't oh my gosh, this was so funny. So obviously when I went in last night, I was not expecting to be admitted, okay? Much less transferred, much less having an emergency procedure done. So, I brought a blanket, I brought some juice, but I didn't bring my contact stuff because I figured, like usual, they would just send me home. Well, they didn't. So I'm about to go on the procedure this morning, and I'm like, I still have my contacts in. So they had to put my contacts in these like surgical bin pee holder cup things, and they got these saline syringes and put the saline solution in there. So I have like my contacts are currently sitting here in two little pea cup surgery bin things, and Oh my gosh, it's just so wild. So, okay, you know what? Let's dive into it. I'm going to tell you guys all the things, what's been going on, what happened, where I'm at with this. And yeah, so let's go. Okay. So, all right. For those of you that don't know, I have been having some like swallowing issues on and off since 2020. And it was pre-COVID. So it was before I had COVID. So it's not from that. But even before that, just in general in my life, I've experienced a number of health, let's just call them challenges, health opportunities, and gone so far as like seeing Mayo Clinic and just a lot of stuff nobody could figure out. So long story short, I've dealt with a lot of like autoimmune things, mystery things, all this jazz, and finally figured out that I had chronic reactivated Epstein-Barr. So I got all the way to the Mayo Clinic, figured this out, did a bunch of stuff, and realized that EBV could explain like a lot of stuff going on in my body. So, anyways, it's really been a journey working on healing my body through that and all the things. Well, in 2020, I was teaching a live class and I was on like, doing this like, course. I was teaching tech and SEO, whatever. I'm in the middle of a live training and all of a sudden my throat was like, nope. And they never could figure it out then. But what happened was it was literally like I lost my ability to swallow. I'm telling you, it was the weirdest freaking thing. And it was like I would go to get water in the back of my throat and it just would not go down. And so that lasted for about 2 weeks, the first time it ever happened. And it's been on and off since then because, as you guys know, there's this whole rigmarole with health stuff, which is crazy, where it's okay, you're having an issue. Okay, now you got to go to a doctor so you can get a referral so you can be seen by a specialist. And oh, that's months out. So every single time I would get to the specialist point, things would resolve and it was never like caught in the moment. So that's kind of been going on for literally 5 years. And when I tell you that I have been managing and dealing with this for 5 years, like I would have to chew food so slowly into like basically mush before I could swallow it. It took me an hour to eat every meal. Just, I've never told anybody this. You guys are like the only people that know, besides people who are really close to me, that are like, yeah, it takes her forever. So that's been going on behind the scenes since 2020. And about 6 weeks ago, I ended up back to back. The kids brought some nice, lovely germs home. And after that, it decided that it was going to act up again. And this time it really hurt. Like I feel like it was partially my thyroid, because sometimes when the EBV reactivates, it will cause the thyroid to get inflamed. And it's also the same time that I started investing in some health stuff and like detoxing. And so all the things, right? Like this was like a perfect opportunity. I don't want to call it a storm, but a perfect storm opportunity. Yeah, so that's what happened. So that was like 6 weeks ago. And I started literally fresh juice, carrot juice. I have been drinking the juice of 40 ounces of raw, fresh carrot juice every day from my juicer, which is the juice of 5 pounds of carrots, bone broth, smoothies, pureed soups, you name it. Well, a month ago, then I missed a tiny little chunk of soft potato. I ended up in the emergency room a month ago, was able to cough it out. And this whole time I've just been like, you know what? It's going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to do the things. Let me just tell you, the lesson that I walked away from with this was that sometimes our fear can be masquerading as faith. Okay? Because I realized that I haven't pursued this. I've been dealing with it. I've been managing it. I've been accepting this because honestly, I was afraid to get answers. I was afraid of what results would show. And to me, I kind of have just been like, you know what? I don't want to know. like, yeah, the body's going to heal itself, it'll be fine. But that's almost been like a kind of naive way to go about it, because you can't heal from something that you refuse to deal with. Like, you can't heal from it if you refuse to face it. And it takes courage to face it. And it takes courage to, for example, when I was working in the money area and really like healing my relationship with money, I realized that I had to heal that. Like, I would get this pit in my stomach when it would come to my bank account. I wouldn't want to open it because I was afraid to open it. And that was fear. Okay. So on one side, in that money relationship time, I was like, yes, money's coming to me in all these different ways, like da 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 da. But also, I was then operating out of fear because I didn't want to open my bank balance and see that I was negative 20, or see that I didn't have X, Y, and Z to, to have what I needed for that month. And so it really took me, and one of the practices was, okay, we're going to open up the bank balance every single fucking day, so you know what's in there and you have the courage to face it. And faith is when you're able to face quote unquote facts and reality as they are and still choose to believe anyway. And so I just realized the last few days, I was like, holy shit, I have not been operating out of faith this whole experience. I have been walking around operating out of fear, masquerading as faith. And quite honestly, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I believe that my body can heal. You guys, if you've known me, if you know me in my personal life for any length of time, you know that. You know that I'm just like, I will be the first person to give you the crunchy, holistic things. But I'm also not against Western medicine and help when necessary. So I'm a really weird blend. I'm like scrunchy, sort of crunchy. I don't really fit into either camp. So, anywho, so I realized that I needed to actually face this and get some answers. And I decided that I was like, you know what? I'm going to get testing. Enough is enough. I'm ready to heal this like now. And so that's kind of where things were at. And I'm so thankful for where life is at right now, because it's been a really good season to just recalibrate after, getting pregnant at 19 and having to constantly be in fight or flight mode, being the primary breadwinner and, all the things for so long. I finally now have money and business that supports me so that I don't have to be online. I can reset my nervous system, all the things, right? Like, if you see me talking about letter writing online, it's because I said it's nervous system friendly money. I don't have to show up online. I can if I want to. And I'm in a place now where I only want to do things out of desire and not desperation. And so I feel really supported because I was able to order these function lab tests, which I will absolutely keep you guys posted on. Absolutely. Because if you've been dealing with anything health wise, this is so cheap. I'm not shitting you when I tell you I have gone to naturopaths in the past and other doctors. They wanted to charge anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000 for the amount of blood work testing and stuff that I was able to order for $500. $500. So I will keep you posted. That'll be in a separate episode upcoming where I get the results back. We go over them. We'll go over them together. I will share with you. I will take you guys on this health journey with me. But anyways, I feel really good because I'm finally able to invest in my health, not just like a little bit, not pick and choose here and there because I don't actually have all the funds to do it, but I can fully go on this journey. So that's where that's been at. So anyway, so since I came out of the ER about 4 weeks ago, I have been doing all juices and smoothies and just pureed stuff. But then it got to the point last night where my son Ryan has been cooking dinner. I've hired him as our personal chef and he loves it. It's a win-win. Okay. It's a win-win. My favorite kind of business transactions, win-win deals. He gets paid like $20 a week now and he cooks meals for us. Well, he was so excited. He cooked this amazing dinner, you guys. Oh my God. He's such a good cook. And he was like, Mom, please, please, please just try a little bit. And I felt bad. And so I tried and it didn't work. And I knew last night I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. We're done. We're getting some answers tonight, like now. So what happened was when I tried to swallow it, my body was like, nope. And it did get stuck. Normally, when I've tried some bubbly water or fizzy water, it'll kind of push it down. Well, that didn't work. So ended up going into the ER here last night, and um, they, oh gosh, it was wild. It was just wild. Like this entire experience has been interesting, wild. There's so many crazy things along the way. So what happened was I got in there. They couldn't do anything because they don't have a GI doctor here in this hospital. And so they wanted to transfer me. But in order to transfer me, they needed to at least try this one little mini like procedure thing first, which was basically injecting glucagon, which is for diabetics. And I guess it's like straight sugar water into your veins. Now, I'm not diabetic. I didn't need this, but it's kind of an off-label way to relax the muscle, the smooth muscles, and allow things to pass from the esophagus. So they wanted to try this and then give me some ginger ale. Now, interestingly, you guys, this is so fascinating because our bodies are so wise. They are always giving us feedback if we are in tune and listening. For the last few months, my blood pressures have been hovering at 135 over 85 to 140 over 90. That is so not normal for me. I am usually a very consistent 112 over 72, 114 over, you know what I mean? Like that's always been my norm. And when I'm relaxed, I'm anywhere from like 104 to over 62. Like that's just where my body likes to chill. And so this was very abnormal for me. And yes, I do have a blood pressure cuff. I check all the things. I test. So I was just kind of noticing that my blood pressure was up, which is weird because I've lost 15 pounds in the last month. I started because of, everything. And also I started doing my 10,000 steps a day. And so I'm like, okay, this is bizarre. What is going on? Why is it up? So they were kind of leery to try the glucagon because that can raise your blood pressure and also make you very like nauseous and sick. Okay, so they come in, they go to give me this medication. Oh, and by the way, guess what my room number was? Room number 11 in the first hospital, room number 11. So they get me in room number 11. They come in, they get me situated, they take my vitals. They inject this glucagon into my IV, and I don't have any of the reactions they tell me I was going to have because this whole time I'm in there, I've got my headphones. I'm listening to Marissa Peer affirmations and hypnoses and, neuroplasticity and brain training and doing all the things. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a good experience. This is where this is where I need to be. This is what needs to happen. I'm telling my brain all of these things, and they inject this in, and it does not help. I was not able to get the ginger ale down. It came right back up, and like it wasn't fun. And they were like, yep, we got to transfer you. Now, interestingly, they were sitting there waiting, and they're like, okay, you're probably going to feel really sick. You're going to feel nauseous. I never felt nauseous. I never felt sick. And my blood pressure, which was 140 over 90. Well, actually, then it was like 145 over 92 right before they administered it because I think I was a little nervous. It dropped. Within 10 minutes, it dropped down to like 129 over 85. And they were like, oh, okay. You guys, it kept dropping. Super fascinating. Don't know what it was about that, but I feel like whatever happened, my body, if I've been in some kind of fight or flight response or something, I feel like maybe that just flipped the switch because my blood pressure kept dropping. Then it went down to 120 over 82, and then it was 114 over 72, and then it was 104 over 67. And they were like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is really bizarre. I've never seen this happen. And I'm like, yep, if it's weird, wild, medically mysterious, you name it. Hello, hi. Okay, so at this point, that's not working. They need to transfer me, and they get all the paperwork ready. I drove myself here. I've got the kids are all at home, and so I had a friend. So I had to leave my keys at the hospital so a friend could come pick them up after he got off work. He does security down at, if you guys have ever been to this area, it's called Rum Runners in Baytown Wharf. It's really, really cool. If you've ever planned a trip down here, it's awesome. So anyway, so he runs security there. He's also one of my clients. Oh, and he's going to be on the podcast. This is, you should know this about my stories. I have squirrel brain, and we're going to go on a little mini side quest. Okay. This is a side quest. So my friend comes to get the keys from the ER. He works at Rum Runners. He was coming, he's a client, and, he's going to be on the podcast because he's actually from Chicago. He grew up on the streets of Chicago since he was 14. He has stories for days about like being a pimp, like turning it all around, like just the craziest shit, y'all. And it's so crazy because he meets all the most wild celebrities and things that come into the wharf that's like literally 2 minutes from our house. And they stay at these bougie resorts. Like there was Kane Brown and this famous MLB player, and I can't remember. But anyway, there's more. So he's going to be on the podcast probably more than once because there's so many different topics. So keep an eye out for that. You're going to see T on some upcoming podcasts. Okay. So my friend comes, grabs the keys. That's T. Ironically, he's also the one that almost like probably got deported or detained from ICE a couple months back. Oh, my Lanta. So he picks the keys up, drives my car back because I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Who's going to come get me? Like somebody needs to have the vehicle. So that worked out. And then I get transported in the ambulance, and it was a 45-minute drive from the hospital I was at to where they transferred me. And I'm in there, I'm vibing. I put my Roman chamomile oil on. I got my bag with me because, but I'm so prepared, but also I wasn't because I didn't have my contact solution, but it is what it is. So I put my Roman chamomile on, and the guy that was in here was also the one that was here when he had to come in the ambulance. He had to come pick me up when I had the miscarriage with the twins technically triplets, but twins a few years back. And so he recognized me and he's like, have we met? I'm like, yes, I instantly recognized you. So that was nice to see a familiar face. He's a super nice guy. And then as we're in the car or the back of the ambulance, my phone goes cha-ching. And that is the notification sound I have when I get a deposit. You guys, as I'm riding in the back of the ambulance, it's after midnight. I freaking get a payment notification for $1,800, a payment deposited, like dropped in. And I was like, I just sat there with that because I'm like, this is why. This is why I do what I do. This is why I'm passionate about it. This is why in upcoming episodes you're probably going to hear a couple that talk about designing your life and creating financial freedom and like alternate income streams and just all the things, because it really supports my life. And I felt so supported last night that I'm in the back of an ambulance on my way to take care of myself, and my business is supporting me, which is something that I literally had always dreamed of having. And so that was cool. So anyway, it was like a fever daydream. I couldn't tell you what time it was. When we got there, I thought we were in Pensacola. I'm like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. I wasn't, by the way. It was a different hospital, a little closer. The cool thing though was that the hospital that they had transported me to was the exact hospital where the GI doctor, the 5-star rated GI doctor, he is on call for that hospital. Like that's the hospital he works at. So out of everywhere in a 2-hour radius, that is the one place that they sent me to. And his partner was the one that was on call and going to be the one consulting for me. And so it's amazing and just awesome to see how everything was working out, and how it was just, I felt completely supported in this entire experience. So that was really good. The nursing staffs were awesome because you guys know I have some trust issues, okay? After some previous medical experiences, like y'all almost killed me. Like this was a challenge to be able to open up and trust again and receive support and put yourself back out there. Cause right? Like how freaking hard is that? It is so hard. to open yourself back up, to trust people again after we've been hurt. I don't care what area or arena it is. That was really hard for me, and I felt it. It was okay. So then I get in here. They get me to the new hospital. You guys, what is my room number in the new hospital? 33. It's what 11 is like my favorite number. It's my life verse, 111, Hebrews 11:1. So at the first hospital, when I saw the number 11, I was like, okay, God, okay, I see you. And then we get to the second hospital, and my room number was number 33, and I just chuckled, and I was like, of course it is. Of course it is. That's amazing. Um, so anyway, so that went fine, and they ended up doing some tests and stuff and realized that they needed to do a procedure, which they did. So I tried to get some sleep, but that just didn't really happen because I'm laying here hooked up, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm hooked up to these monitors and stuff. And let's just say my heart rate is a luxurious chill queen, and she likes to dip below 50, and that's norm for me. Okay. So now that my blood pressure is recalibrated, whatever happened, that switch flipped back on, and she's in her happy zone. So my heart rate, when I fall asleep, it goes down to like 45, 46, and that is just normal for me. And I like to think, I firmly believe that this is because I have longevity goals. I want to live to be 111 years old. And so I tell myself, you know what? My heart is going to last twice as long because it operates at half capacity. Okay. Like this is a longevity ticker right here. So that's what that means. So I'm not freaking out when it goes down to 46, but they were, and the monitor was. So every time I would like drift off to sleep, it's like, and I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm like hitting all the buttons, and oh my Lanta. And then so now it's like 3 a.m, and they've got me scheduled, and they're like, okay, they're going to come in, they're doing the procedure on you this morning. They're going to take a camera, they're going to look, they're going to retrieve food if it's in there, or whatever. And I'm tired. And this sweet lady, and I said, do you have contact solution? And that's the first time when she brings me these saline syringes. So here I am, 3 o'clock in the morning, in this little quiet, dark side hospital room, because I wanted everything to be dark and quiet. And I'm pouring like saline syringes into my contacts and rinsing them out, putting them in my eye. And they felt like, oh my God, they felt like dry little shriveled up raisin pancake saucers on a dusty desert highway. And I'm just like, oh, it was just, it was an experience. It's all part of the experience. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then I did finally get some sleep. I got up. They woke me up. They got me in right away for the procedure at 8 o'clock in the morning. They did not find any food in there. Yeah, but you know what I will say? I felt so calm going into it. I just felt it. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what needs to happen. And because, going into medical procedures, that can be traumatic for your body. And I don't feel like that was it. I feel like this whole thing has been a reset, and it's like a step in the right direction. And the whole time, and I was telling my friend yesterday, I said, I don't care what happens. This podcast is launching tomorrow. Da 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 da. And so she messaged me this morning, and I'm like, yep, I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to record a new first episode, and I'm going to launch it, because we are in the era of just doing the things despite whatever's happening. I'm not saying that I'm not resting and giving myself grace, but also I'm just doing it. I'm just fucking doing it. Like, you only get one life. There's going to always be a million setbacks, and that's it. So me launching, if you're listening to this, launching this episode today, it is like a commitment to myself. It's a commitment to the future. And it's basically just saying, hey, it's okay. I feel good. We're going to do the things anyway. Like, we can hold all these emotions. We can have emergency surgery in the morning, and we can still launch a #1 podcast in the afternoon. And then we can go back to being rested and fully supported. Like, it's okay. We can do both. It doesn't have to be either or. There can be obstacles and And that's it. And in my world, I'm just like, you know what? We're going to take whatever happens and we're going to take all that. I think it's Amanda Francis who said this, but we're going to take that shit and we're going to turn it into gold. Okay. So that's what we're doing today. So that made me laugh. So I texted her that. I'm like, I'm still going to launch the podcast. So anyways, but I felt really good going into the procedure. There was no food, and so they've got me scheduled with a GI doctor. They're going to do some more tests and kind of get to the bottom of things. And I'm going to keep supporting my body. But what this really gave me was clarity and the fact that I feel like I'm on the right path, you guys. I really do, and I will absolutely share that with you. And I'm going to tell you right now, I envision myself someday in the future, which I have not energetically been able to sense this for a long time. It's been a long time, but energetically, I can now feel myself on the other side of this, totally healed, totally fine. My throat's totally amazing in the future. And I'm able to just have like a big, juicy, delicious Culver's Butters burger, or like riding my bike through the campground and going, and getting a hot dog off the campfire. I don't eat hot dogs all the time, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my future anchor point moment. And if you're listening to this right now, in the future, I'm going to come back and I'm going to circle back to this moment and I'm going to say, remember when I said that? And I love to do this shit, by the way. I love to timestamp things and be like, see? So I'm timestamping it. I'm calling my shot right now. I'm saying, when that happens in the future, I'm going to reference back to this moment and this point. And in the meantime, I'm going to be so grateful for the juices and the smoothies and the fresh things and all the things that I am able to eat that are nourishing my body. So that's where that's at. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, well, I should tell you what they did. They went in, they did the procedure, they didn't find food stuck. They did see some things that were, let's just say, interesting. And so they want to check that out further. So I am scheduled. Oh, this was the coolest part. I'm scheduled with the exact 5-star rated doctor, highly recommended in the area. There's a friend that recommended him. She's like, you absolutely have to go to this guy. The guy, the surgeon, or the attending OR physician that saw me after all this happened. And I said, hey, I really want to see Dr. Twan is his name. And he was like, oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. He's awesome. Let me give him a call right now. It's his personal friend. So he's like, hey, so now I'm already got a foot in the door. This was a huge moment, you guys. It's a foot in the door. He already pre-accepted me as a patient. All I have to do is send over to him the referral and I'm in. And it's good. It's really good. So I'm just super thankful for all the things that happened and all the ways that this worked out, because I'm telling you, it was divine. It was just divinely orchestrated. And now, let me also say that I don't remember this, but I'm going to tell you what happened after I woke up from surgery today. Oh my God. And this is so on brand for me, y'all. This is like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Okay, so as you know, when you're knocked out for general anesthesia, there's a period when you're coming to and you're getting coherent and the fog is lifting that you're kind of like blackout. You don't remember this. That's why there's so many videos of people after wisdom surgery, wisdom removal and all that. Okay, I don't remember this. And also, like, I believe that in those moments, we get a little bit of glimpse of almost someone that would be at their deepest core. If there were no social filters and you gave them truth serum, like, that is who people are. So let me share with you who I am at my core. Okay. Oh my God. So I'm waking up and I remember the last thing that I saw before I drifted off into the anesthesia, and I was calming myself and I got like nervous for a second, but then there was this like older, sweet, like little grandpa looking guy, and he reminded me of my grandpa Jack. You guys know Grandpa Jack was like, he was so, yeah, he's one of my favorite humans. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. He's one of my favorite humans. That's why I named Jack after him. And he passed away a few years ago. And I always know that he is watching over me. Do you ever get that? If you have, I would love to hear about this, because just tell me in the listeners lounge, drop it in the comments, leave me a show note, something. Tell me any experience you have where you have a loved one that you know has been watching out for you. So for me, it's Grandpa Jack. Like I feel him in moments where I really need him or just need something. And so there's this older gentleman. He was, I think, the anesthesiologist, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I was a little bit nervous right before I drifted off because obviously I didn't know if food was stuck in there. Am I like going to choke on the table? Like, so I had a momentary moment of, holy, oh man. And he looked straight at me. And I think he could tell that I was nervous and he just put his arm on me and he was like, "It's okay." He's like, "It's okay, sweetheart. We're going to take care of you." And I remember looking at him and I was like, "You remind me of my grandpa." And then I drifted off to anesthesia smiling. And I had already felt really calm up to this point. So I wake up and I'm in the recovery OR section where it's a little dark and quiet. And there's these basically just curtain dividers. So all these people that are coming out of the OR are lined up in there. And on my left hand side is an OR, it must be like a recovery nurse because he wasn't with the team that was in surgery. He was, monitoring me after recovery. But the one nurse that was with me prior to surgery and during it, she was there on my right hand side. And so I'm waking up and I'm talking and I come to, and she's like, "I just got to tell you, you have been my favorite patient that I've ever had." She's like, "You just made my day. This has been unforgettable." And I'm like, "Okay, why?" So apparently, when I woke up initially from anesthesia, again, I don't remember this part. Now, normally when I come out of it, same thing when I had my wisdom teeth removed, I'm just like, "Hey, what do you want to do in life? What's your dream? Like, you can do it. Like, go for it." Like, I was telling my wisdom teeth nurse the one time, like, "You go do that, book that vacation." That's me, okay? That's me. If you know me, that is me. Like, what's your dreams? Go for it. Don't settle. Anyway, so that wasn't shocking to me. So apparently I was doing that this time. I was like, "I'm so grateful for you guys. This is an amazing experience. I'm so glad you're here. Like, thank you so much." But then I said, "Also, the blood pressure cuff is really tight and I need that to be loosened because my body requires comfort for healing." And then I asked them if they had my eye patch because normally I sleep with an eye patch on. It's this gold shimmery, like shiny, sheeny eye patch, like a plush thing. It says "Wake me for champagne." So I was like, "Do you have my eye patch? I just need to rest. Also, can you please get me my Roman chamomile essential oil and my lavender so I can rub it on my throat?" Well, they didn't have that. So she was just chuckling about that. And then apparently, I guess I kind of chewed some surgeon guy out. Again, no recollection of this. So, as you know, you're in these room dividers and there's these little curtains, and and there was an elderly woman who must have just come out of surgery or something with her lungs, maybe. I don't know. But I guess the surgeon is known for not having the best bedside manner. Okay. And apparently he was being a little bit gruff with her, like she was mumbling or she was sore, and he just wasn't being very nice. And you guys, I literally guess that I yelled out and I said, "Hey, stop being mean to her. You can't talk to her like that." And I guess he turned around and was like, "Huh?" And my nurse said, that's just my patient. She's just coming out of anesthesia, she's just coming out." And I guess I said, "Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can talk to her like that. That's not being very nice. She just wants some water." And then apparently, this is 100% on brand for me. I'm not even kidding you. This does not shock me, but I mean a little bit. But I guess that I said, if you're so something along the lines, I don't know if this is verbatim, but she was telling me this back, but she said something along the lines of, "If you're too burnt out that you can't have compassion, maybe you should find another profession." So I guess after that, the OR recovery nurse man and my nurse on the right, they looked at each other and they said that they had such a hard time not laughing because apparently that's what everyone has been thinking about telling this guy because they all know he's got a reputation for not having great bedside manner. But apparently, after that happened, he just didn't say anything, walked off, got some water, and brought it back to the patient. And I was like, yeah, that actually sounds 100% on brand for me. 100%. 100%. So, anyways, I don't remember that. What I came to, and I was actually feeling okay. Um, my throat is a little bit sore. I've been sipping my bone broth here, and I've got my Roman chamomile oil. Finally, came home and did a castor pack wrap on my liver and on my neck, which felt so good. So for the next 24 hours, I am on like a bone broth and warm liquid only, just because they did go in, they did take some biopsies, they took some tissue samples, they ended up finding some areas where it's strictured, but they put the stretcher in there basically, which okay, I don't love that. I didn't know about that prior, but also I'm just trusting the process and okay, this is what my body needed or wanted, and I'm in the right place. And so as long as I trust that, I'm just going to trust the process. So that's it, you guys. Welcome. Thanks for coming behind the scenes with me. Thank you for letting me share the real and not this like curated shit. Um, this was not the first episode I was planning, but I'm so glad you're here. So that being said, here's kind of how I want to give you like here's how this is going to go. If you're in the listeners lounge, I'd love to hear from you. If you could, like if you feel up to it, if you want, you can listen to a couple episodes, drop a rating. If you think that somebody would love to listen to the podcast or enjoy it, you are more than welcome to invite them into the listeners lounge here. You can just simply click the invite button. That'll probably be the easiest way if you want. And I will be posting episodes weekly ish. Okay, weekly ish. Now it's my goal to post one a week. Okay, that is my goal. I'm not going to promise you a specific day or time because life happens. And like I said, I'm doing things now out of desire and not desperation or like I have to. No, I'm going to do things when I do because I want to, and I won't when I don't. So weekly ish is the goal. If you want, you're more than welcome to join the community. I will go ahead and put links to stuff in the show notes too if you want to check that out. So there will be some different links there. I will post the menu for the regularly scheduled episodes that we're supposed to drop. Okay. Like I'm going to post those too. Those are coming. So I have more episodes this first week than normal. There's going to be 5 that are dropping for you. So go ahead and check those out. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Really, my heart for this space is to turn Storytime with Sara into just a kind of a fun podcast, a place to not only share my stories, but also other people's stories as well. So if you have a story or you're like, hey, this is weird, wild, interesting, true, totally crazy. I know this person and I don't know, they were attacked by a shark or I don't know, like, let me know. Go to Storytime with Sara, fill out a note on the bottom, give me their info, whatever, connect us. I think that'd be really fun to do too. And last thing, I know it's real hard to make adults and, adult friends once we're 30 plus, but I'm genuinely hoping that the listeners lounge, you can meet some new friends who are maybe like weird and black SUV mom energy, and maybe they're like interested in the same things. And just, I really want that to be a cool, fun space where you can genuinely meet and connect with new people. And who knows, like some of my best friends in real life, I met online first. And what a weird day and age. So anyways, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you enjoyed this. Please go ahead and like it. And I will see you for the next episode. Okay. Love you. Bye.